Good morning. We're back here with Cooking with the Rube, and today we're going to do one of my favorite foods that I like to cook. It's a tradition at my house. I cook it for my wife, and I have 2 daughters and 1 granddaughter, and I do this for Christmas. And I'm going to cook enchiladas and tacos. And the whole thing about this deal is that I'm cooking and the sauce. It's about the enchilada sauce, and I'll tell the story as we go. I always, you know, you probably heard me the other day, my holy grail is always bell peppers and onions, and I always start with bell peppers because that takes them longer to saute, and so that's what I'm doing. And as this is cooking, and today, what I'm planning on doing is this is all cooking. I'm gonna continue to do it, but I'm gonna put the bell peppers in there, and I'm gonna come back and put the onions, and I'm gonna add the meat and put the seasoning, all Mexican seasoning that I got. And then, while all that's cooking as we go along here, I'm gonna make a salsa. And I brought of course, if y'all seen these at Mexican restaurants, and this is a molcajete. This in here. It's been, my sister brought it to me from San Antonio, and anyway, I've had it for a good while, and I'm gonna make it. Now we have all the modern ninjas and all this stuff that I can take and do all that salsa and a lot quicker than I'm gonna do it in here, but I like the old tradition. I'm just an old traditionalist, so I'm gonna make it by hand, everything by hand. At least that's what I'm gonna attempt to do. And while we're doing all, like I said, while I'm doing that, in order to keep the cameras rolling, I think, if it works out, I'm gonna continue to cook the bell peppers and then the onions. And I had one of my friends tell me that he asked me if I was gonna make this kind of spicy. So I brought 2 kinds of peppers today. I got some jalapeno peppers. I'm not going to put a lot in it. And then I brought some serrano peppers. And the serrano, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be hotter than the jalapenos, but we'll see. But anyway, I always start this. And this is the way my mother used to do it. And this old molcajete here and stone grinder. You mash them all up, get it good and mashed so that. And I'm gonna make quite a bit of salsa, and that's what I'm gonna do because we're gonna feed several people today. And anyway, I'm gonna put a little bit of this serrano peppers in here. No, I don't want to make it too hot for folks where they won't eat it. But I thought since I'm having tacos and people might want to use the sauce on some tacos or whatever they want to do. But anyway, or either just eat it with chips. But we'll see how all this works out. But of course, I'm mashing it. I want to make sure we get the peppers good and mashed up and juiced up so that we can put a little, I'm going to add some tomatoes to it, and I am going to add some. And you're going to see me jumping back and forth here because I'm cooking. And this is the way I like to cook. This is the way I cook at home. I like to get everything going. I've got 3 or 4 pots going. And just keep cooking. Sometimes though, I might burn things, but try not to. I think I finally got this induction oven. What am I looking for? Oh, fun. Finally, I think I got this induction oven lined out where I can not be looking at it all the time, and it works out. But anyway, maybe I put too much in there, but we're going to make this work out. I probably should have put the onions in there, but I won't first. But anyway, this will work. However you like to do it, I hope for folks who like it. But again, for the new generation, they're going to take that ninja and make the sauce a lot quicker than I'm going to make it. But it'll work out. It'll all work out. But we doing this, like I said about earlier, and I'm gonna make the sauce when I get through making the meat. I'm gonna take the drippings and make the enchilada sauce. And I think I told this story, but I'm not sure. But I always wanted to make this sauce because my mother made it, and he also heard me that I don't use measuring. I don't measure anything. Everything's by taste. And anyway, so I knew how my mother's sauce tasted, enchilada sauce, which we're going to make later. And I woke up one morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I decided I was going to learn how to make that sauce. So I started with the skillet, just like we're doing now. And after 13 tries, I'd make one, taste it, didn't like it, throw it away. Then I'll start again. But anyway, I did 13 tries, and on the 13th try, the sauce came out like it's supposed to, according to my taste. And so that's what we're going to do in a little bit. It's time for me to got the bell peppers cooking just about like I wanted. I'm going to finish up with the onions, add the onions, and get them going good. And when I get these sauteed a little bit more, see, the bell peppers is not sauteed as much as I like them just yet, but because I'm going to do the onions, and after we saute them a little bit, I'm going to add the meat, so all that's going to keep cooking. And then we'll get back to it. But I'm going to continue to make some more salsa here for our group. Oh yeah, this is looking good here. Okay. Got that going. I'm gonna go ahead on and get my. What I'm gonna do is I don't like to just chunk it in here. I like to kind of mash it with this ground beef going in there decent, so I don't have to punch it down. I know I will anyway, but I'm gonna get this going like this and see how it works out for me. And while I got it all worked up here, all my meat like I want spread out here, that's when I like to add some salt and pepper. Put a little salt and pepper in here. And then also, I got my Mexican seasoning. You know, I told y'all, I one of them others and I'll discuss it when I make the sauce, but I'm gonna put some paprika in here. I don't know why I started with that, but anyway, I got some chili powder. This is for Philip. And something that I like, you know, Mexican, you gotta have some, well, that's not what I want, but this is what I want. You gotta have some enchilada sauce, and there's, anyway, that's what I put on here, but as far as seasoning. And we'll add some other stuff in too, but later. But anyway, then I get it all stirred up and let it cook. My meat's cooking good, because this is going to be for our enchiladas, and also it's going to be for our tacos. So we're getting this going our way, and I'm fixing to make some guacamole. I'm getting this all prepared for the guacamole making. And again, guacamole is just like that salsa. You got tomatoes, onions. That's what I'm gonna put them in there, and then a little hot peppers. What I'm gonna do is get these all out of here, and then since I got a good cutting board. Looking for my spoon. Here we go. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spoon all these in half, and I'm not, like I said, I like to have a little chunky. If I wanted to get real soft, I would put it in this molcajete here and get it good and soft, but I like mine a little chunky. And I'm gonna, and this has got the right texture anyway, so I'm gonna take and spoon all this right. I'm gonna cut it and then spoon it into that bowl. Get these all done here. And then after I get these cut up, all I'm gonna do is add the onions and bell pepper and jalapenos, stir them up, and we'll have now, thing about avocados, they'll get brown on you pretty quick, and so you gotta use them up. I like to use them just as when I get ready to serve, which we're gonna eat them here shortly. So this will work out for us, but that's why when you go to a Mexican restaurant, they usually make it right there for you, unless they use it. And you go to one where they buy it already made, then that's a different story. But if you get it kind of chunky, they usually make it for you fresh, and that's really what you want, a fresh avocado to make some good guacamole. All right, got that done. This is the easy part right here. If you got a nice soft one like these are just the right. This is the way I like them. Soft. Sometimes you get them too hard, and you got picking out. I tell you a story about that. I did this I was doing this at our annual Christmas, and I said I got the guacamole. I got the avocados. Well, the avocados I got were all black in the middle when I got them, and I called myself knowing about, because I use them a lot, and I did not know about them. Anyway, my family that's a big Christmas deal. It's their dad that I didn't know how to pick. They won't let me pick avocados now. See, like I told you, I like to get things, 2 or 3 things going at one time, and then you get so involved in one and you forget about the other. But I really like the way we got it set up here, because I can look over where I see it. But at my house, I'm over there somewhere else, and then have to run over and I burnt some. Okay, got that done. And like I said, if I wanted a real good smashed up one, I would put them in here and mad them up. But mine's going to be chunky. I am going to turn them with a spoon to get them a little bit softer. This is okay, but it's not what I really want. But we're going to do that. We'll take a wooden spoon to it, stir it all up, and then come back and put the onions and tomatoes and jalapenos in there, and then start all over with the. I got to get some more tomato stuff for the taco. Okay. Let me stir this up. This meat just about ready, and we're gonna get it as soon as I get the deals over here stirred up. We're gonna get this. We're gonna take it off and get this all done up right here. Okay. Let me just move this over here. Move this where I can get to it instead of clean. But I'm going to mash this up just a little bit with my spoon, and just to make it have a little bit more texture, stir it. Just a little bit too chunky right now, what I like. So we can fix that. And again, if y'all, you know, most folks today, if they wanted really good and soft, they'd put it in that blender and be done with it. It'd be a lot quicker. But I don't have a problem with doing it the way I'm doing it. A lot of times, if you don't have jalapeno peppers, you can. I use Tabasco sauce on mine. I like Tabasco, so I use a lot of Tabasco, and I will use it on this if I don't have jalapeno peppers. It's okay. I'm not putting a lot in there, but I'm going to put these onions in here. Okay, it's coming together. Now, some salt. Put some pepper on it. And let's add the tomatoes. Uh-oh. All right, we got this I got this taco enchilada meat cooked about like I want it, and I'm fixing to. What I like to do, I'm gonna do it with one of these spoons. May do it. Let me cut this off. And what I like to do is do this right here to drain it. Of course, let's don't drain it too much. let's don't spill it, okay? I gotta save my drippings because I'm gonna use them here, and y'all will see what I'm gonna do. Because with these drippings, I'm gonna make. This is what's gonna make the sauce. And I got the star all over. But I'm gonna get this up. But that's what I like to do. I like to get all this off here. And yeah, now I'm gonna leave the rest of it in here and then dip this meat out. But anyway, it gets a lot of the oil out of there because we're just using vegetable oil. Okay, I got the meat out of here. Now I'm gonna make what this is all about, in my opinion. My famous, I'm gonna call it Ruben's famous enchilada sauce that I make and my family enjoys, and I hope the people that's gonna eat today is gonna enjoy it too. But I call it my famous enchilada sauce, or really it's my mother's. And again, y'all see me put the bell pepper and onions. That's what I start with, but we're gonna make it. And of course, I'm gonna cook the bell peppers first. That the onions gonna be a little easier. I'm gonna put some bell pepper, onion, and then a little flour in here to make the. I call it a roux, but it's gonna be the sauce or gravy, whatever you want to call it. But you'll see as I go. Okay, while that's all going, so this is going in that pot next, I need to cut up some more tomatoes and some more onions, so I'm gonna do that. I thought I was gonna have way too many tomatoes, and I don't. But what I took it, I had already bought some tomatoes that were in here, and then last night for some reason I said, well, I better get some more. And I'm glad I did because I needed them. And while that's getting ready, I'll just chop these up because we're going to need them later on. Now you see all these folks on the cooking show and all this stuff, they put their fingers like that. I don't see how to keep them doing it. I don't do it. I do mine like this, like this way. But I've tried that like they do it. I just can't get it down right, so I just do it my way. And it works. What I do works for me. But I just hold it like this, and you know, It works out. Again, it works out for Ruben. I told a story about this sauce that we're going to make here in a minute, and ever since I finally got at least the way I think it's okay. Now my sister that does quite a bit of cooking, she may do it a different way, but this is the way I do it. So, and it's the way I like it. So that's how I do it. Do it like Ruben wants to do it. You know what one of the sayings I used to tell when I had people working for me, I said, you know, there's 3 ways to do something. It's your way, the right way, and then there's Ruben's way. And as long as I'm your boss, we're going to do it Ruben's way. And I hope it's the right way, but that's what I tell them. They just look at me funny like, you know, I was crazy. But that's what I tell them anyhow. So I still remember all those deals. And I'm going to tell you why I call this a roux and why I said that. And I said, and I got this is a roux because I'm fixing to put this flour in here, and it's basically how I do the gumbo or whatever I'm cooking is bell peppers, onions, and some flour. Except I'm going to use Mexican seasoning. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put some in here now. And I like to put it in onion. Again, I don't measure anything. It's all my stuff's by taste. All right, now I'm ready for some flour. Get it going, because I'm fixing to make the roux. But I'm gonna call it sauce. And what I do, I kind of watch this as I'm stirring it and seeing if it's sticking and things. But now with this, like you don't want to do this like you do gumbo, you know, because I keep talking about that. You don't want to brown this. You don't cook it till you get it. The darker you get it, the darker you get your roux on gumbo. This is just what you want to do is cook this flour and this like you would to make a gravy, and that's what I do. So, but I keep adding flour till I get it like I want, the consistency that I want. Then I'm going to add the sauce. Normally, when I'm going to make the sauce right here in this, I hope that this skillet is going to hold all the sauce that I'm going to make. But normally I would make this like I'm doing now and transfer it into a pan, to a pot rather, and then make. And I like to make it, so if you make extra sauce, you can take it, I freeze it, save it for another time. You can do that. But mainly, I'm hoping just to make enough for today, my plan. So, all right, it's about getting there. Again, I like to use name brand, and maybe good or bad. I like to hunt, so if I start with a certain brand, that's usually what I stay with. And I found out that if you use the same ingredients every time, it always tastes the same. And when you start changing, and I think I've said this in some other people say, well, I use this, I use that. But the problem with all that is they use it, but they're not using the same brands that I'm using. And it does make a difference sometimes. Makes it taste different. Let that cook just a little bit. And put the sauce in here and bring the sauce to a boil. Probably I might add a little water. We'll put some more of this sauce in there, and Get this all seasoned and stirred in here, and we'll start making sauce. Okay. Why is that? What? Like I said earlier, the more full flour you put in, the more you cook it, and it gets thick. And so what I do, again, I just add some moisture to it, add a little water, and get it right. I need some, I like a little pepper. That's okay, we're good. But this is it. This we got our sauce, and I'll bring this to a boil, and then it's all ready. All right, we're fixed to do. This is what, because we're going to do the enchiladas, and if you want to make good enchiladas, this is the way to do it. I got to get the oil like I want it, and of course, everything's individual. I do each individual one and roll each individual and put it in the pan. But you'll see as we get started here, but we're going to do that. And then for the tacos, where's my, I have several of these, but I didn't find but one of them. And this is going to be for my taco shells. We're going to get that. We're going to continue doing that when I get through making enough of these enchiladas. But also, for those folks that are watching this, if you don't want the oil and all to roll, because you can't roll these. If you roll them, like I'm going to do it, you see, they'll break apart. They won't stick together. So you do it all, but you can take and put them in the microwave, and you can do it with the microwave. But if you ever do, I want folks to know, you do it in the microwave, try it, and then eat one, and then do it in the oil and try it. The one in the oil is going to taste the best. But anyway, so I've got to get this. What I do, since I cut this one up, anyway, I like to see, the oil's not ready yet, but once it starts sizzling down here, then I start laying the enchiladas in there, and yeah, it's coming. And then we start. And then when I get it up here, put it in here, it's going to be oil, and it's going to be, but that's just part of it. And I take a spoon like this, one dip for each one. I like to put more meat in my enchiladas or whatever I'm cooking than you will get at the restaurant. But family's eating it. So that's why I do it. Almost. Let me try it. And since it's going to be oily, what I also do is I put the next tortilla that I'm going to put in this oil, I put it right here, and you'll see when I dip this one out of this oil, this goes on to this one, and the oil gets on this one, then I put it back in the pot. But once, and like I say, it's right now it's the oil's just not quite ready, but it's almost there. But it doesn't take long. The thing about this, it doesn't take long to do. Once I get it just like that, no, I'm going to put it this way. I like to do this. I'm trying to get ahead of myself, but I do this right here, flip it over, and of course then I go ahead and put this next one in here. And I kind of got ahead of myself there, but then I get a spoonful of meat. Again, this is the hardest part right here. Not the hardest part, it's just the longest part. And of course right now, the oil's not hot. It's going to get hot on my hands, but it's not bad. So that's what I do. Now, I got my assembly line now. Put that in there, get one up here like this, put it up here like this, and spoonful of meat. All right, so now I got my enchiladas done. I'm making the taco shells for our tacos, and all you do is you slide one of these tortillas in here, and then I call them soft shells. You see, I've already been making some, but anyway, and you flip them over a couple times, and then you flip them halfway and let them cook. But again, you can do this in the microwave. Do the same thing, and I'll tell you this, that if you do it in the microwave, it's fine. It's just not going to taste as good if you have a oil on it. The tortillas will not, and you can try it. For those people that don't want to use any vegetable oil, just put it in the microwave and you can fold them just like I'm doing right now. If you want. If not, then I refuse to go to town and buy those hard shells, because you bite into it, gone, crack. Everything's spilling over. With the soft tacos, that's not going to happen, because I don't cook them as hard as you see the store-bought one. Okay, folks, we got the enchiladas done. We got the tacos done. Now comes the main part that I call. And when I get this in, is I take and I like this Mexican Ford. What is this one? Ford type cheeses, and all I do is sprinkle this over here, and reason the pan is not full, and I used to stack it, but the problem with that is if you stack too many in here, I like to give folks 3 enchiladas, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I pour a little cheese. I'll put some cheese in here. I like plenty of cheese, and I like this 4 Mexican cheese in here, and get that done. I'm just gonna take my hand and do it. I'm gonna pull a Justin Wilson. You can spare, don't spare the cheese, they say. But once I get enough cheese in here, then I'm going to take and I'm going to pour this sauce. Well, my Ruben's famous late night sauce. And I like to set this up where I can get 3 enchiladas out and for everybody. And they will. Once you get all this cheese melted in here, they don't fall apart, but they just if you don't, they're just hard to get out with all the cheese and the sauce that I'm gonna put in here. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks real good, because we got to get in here, get that done, and then I got this sauce that I'm gonna put on here. Sometimes I'm not going to do it today. One reason is because I don't have them cut up. But sometimes what I like to do, I cut up onions and put them right on top of the sauce, give it a little extra flavor with some cut up onions in here. But we got enough as it is. My daughter, when I cook for the Christmas meal, one of the meals that we have for Christmas, and I cook this meal, I cannot just make enough for the family to eat. I got, like I said, 2 daughters and a granddaughter. Well, they have me make extra. and they take extra sauce and the enchiladas, and because I don't supply the cheese. And then what they do, they take it and then they have a party of their own with their friends. Of course, they tell their friends they made them. They made the sauce, they made the everything, and all they made was, they did go buy the cheese. So, but it's fun. It's just fine. That's what dads are supposed to do. So, and that's what I do. And they have another meal sometime for their friends, and everybody enjoys it. I'm gonna go ahead. Since I got that done, I'm gonna go ahead and get these in. After I get the sauce on them like this, put them in the oven at 350 degrees, and everything's already cooked, so the main thing I need to do is melt the cheese and warm the sauce. That's what I got to do. This is my official taster, since I don't do my own tasting. And of course I got my buddy Philip. He's my official, he's up, so he's coming in. All right, Philip, give us a what you think here.
All right, so it looks great. We got enchiladas, tacos with some cheese and lettuce and tomatoes, and then some of that guacamole. So we'll start with this taco.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna hold it up. I love the fact that it doesn't fall apart on you.
It's not gonna fall apart.
Crunch and go disappear. That's good.
Well, let's just check that enchilada out, and then we see what you think about that. Because
it's very cheesy. I love that sauce.
Sauce right there. My sauce is what, that's what I brag about it, because I make the sauce. And
it's not world famous, it should be.
No, it's not world famous, but it's Ruben famous.
Absolutely.
It is Ruben famous, okay?
Get a shot of this guacamole here in the middle.
Yep. Did a lemon, we added the lemon there at the end.
But Mexican feast, Ruben.
That's it.
I love it.
Okay, good.
Love it. Good job again.
All right, let's go. We got to, hey, thanks for everybody coming up and watching our show. And we got to go in here, and we've got all this food cooked, and we've got some hungry people who want to eat it. They want to sample it themselves. So we're going to do that, and see you next time.